Hey everyone, Jess here from Say's Rules Canine Training. One of the most common issues we see when dogs come back to us is that the e-collars fit too loose. So while this is great intention and you might think that your dog is uncomfortable with the collar being too snug, it actually means that you're going to be using much higher levels on the e-collar, and that's something that we don't want to do consistently. You won't get great accountability from your dog, and we want to be using the lowest level possible on the e-collar. We're going to show you a demonstration about why. So here I'm going to put the collar on too loose. You might think that you need to be able to get 2 fingers under the collar. I think that's probably there. So 2 fingers can get under the collar. I'm getting contact some of the time. It's somewhat comfortable. The receiver moves around. I've got contact, but it's probably only going to be some of the time. When I move around, the receiver moves also. And what I'm going to do is, as Nikki rolls up, I'm going to raise my hand when I first feel the stimulation.
So that was a 13. I started at a level 2, we went up to a 13.
All right, this time we're gonna make it snug, like it should be on the dog. So I can still get my finger underneath the collar. I still breathe okay. If I really try, I can get my finger underneath the contact points, but it's much more difficult. I cannot necessarily get 2 fingers under there. So now when I move, the collar moves with me. Much more like the receiver becoming part of the dog. We're going to do the same thing.
All right, I'm starting at 2. Slowly roll up. That was an 8.
It's a much lower number there, which is what we want. All right, so now we are going to fit the e-collar to Mr. Frank here. We're going to put it in between the prong collar and the e-collar. Let me actually switch it around so you guys can see. And we want to put the receiver pretty much in any part of the neck other than the very front where the dog's trachea is. That would be uncomfortable. And I'm going to cinch it down and then check the fit of the receiver. It's good. So I can still get my fingers underneath here. That means it's safe for the dog. Check again. Sometimes, Frank especially, he will actually bloat his neck. Much like a horse when you're putting on the saddle, they'll bloat out their belly. So then you have to go back and re-tighten. That actually, it feels pretty good. I may in a little bit check his fit again to make sure he hasn't bloated out his neck. But right now it's feeling good, nice and snug. Again, we made an e-collar sandwich. So we've got the prong collar up by his ears, e-collar, and then his flat buckle collar. So now I'm going to show you guys how to tighten this down with a bungee collar. So it's the same concept. This goes in between the prong collar and his flat buckle collar. Flip it over, get the leash out of the way. Frank, you're standing on the leash, bud. There you go. With the bungee collar, typically, I tighten it down as tight as it can go. These things have some give on their own because it's a bungee collar. So as the dog breathes, it's gonna give him some slack. So you really can't make these too tight. And again, I can still get my finger underneath here, but it is nice and snug. And then the contact points are right up against his skin. That's really important. We want the contact points up against the dog's skin. That way you can use the lowest numbers possible when you're using the e-collar. If you have a dog with a lot of hair, you're actually going to want to spread the hair out and fit the receiver and the contact points in between the hair. Again, the whole point is to be able to use low numbers when you're using the e-collar. If you're not getting good contact, you're going to have to use really high numbers. And then I typically, with these long tails, we tuck them in so that the dog doesn't try to bite on them or chew on them. Just get them out of the way by doing that. There you go. exactly.